All right, I am just grabbing a apron because what I'm going to be doing is messy, messy, messy. So, all right. That way there, I kind of semi-protect my clothing. So we're going to be trying a totally new medium. I just got it in the mail today. I have never used it. I only saw a few videos of it, and we're going to use it today. We're going to try it. So we're going to try to make something fancy with this vase. So if you're just jumping on, guys, say hi. Let me know you're here, where you're watching from. So I am going to tape as best I can the inside of this jar. All right, so let's see. Welcome, Acidify Studios. Welcome, welcome. All right, so we're just, I'm just putting some tape in this area where I will probably kind of be holding the inside of the jar or the vase. So I've watched a couple videos. Some say that this stuff will work on glass. Others say that it doesn't. So I don't know. So we're going to try it. Hey, Natalie. Hey, B. So I'm going to show you I ordered a small kit because I'm like, if I just pick bits and pieces, you know, I'm still going to want some other stuff. So I just ordered a small kit, and luckily for me, the U.S. warehouse is literally like 20 minutes from where I live. It's in Sanford, Maine, and I am in Waterboro. So, so I ordered it Monday. It came in today. So I did sign up, because the more that I was looking at it and thinking of all the different things that I could do with this stuff, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to sign up to be an affiliate. Hey, Tammy. So let me move this back, and I'm going to show you the kit. So I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Powertex. This is a universal textile hardener. So anything that fabric, t-shirt material, rope, wood, concrete, mixed to mold that's already made, you can use this on. So the kit came with white. They have, I think it's 11 colors. So I've only got white, and it's a water-based medium. So I'm going to add some of my cement powder to my mix. I don't know if you can do that, but I'm going to do it because I'm just like rebel like that. I wanted a different color, but I wanted the kit. So I'm like, okay. So I'm going to try coloring it with this powder because they do have other powders that you can mix in. So they have this, it's called Stone Art. So you mix this with any color of the universal medium, and you make it a thick, and it makes an air dry clay that you can put in a silicone mold. So I'm like, okay, if you can add this powder, why can't you add that powder, right? So that's what we're gonna do. So we will be doing something with this, but a little bit later on, not tonight. So we got the universal medium, the stone art, and then it comes with this paper of some sort. And I haven't even opened this paper. And it is almost like a thick, fibery, like almost what they would use to make a cast is kind of what I'm thinking this feels like. But it's to add texture. So you get a package of this. And you get a sample of the textured sand, the fine sand, and like different balls. They're like little rocks that you can add to it as well. I wasn't too worried about these things, but and it did come with what they call rusty powder. So if you wanted to make your piece look like it was a piece of metal that was rusted, you mix this powder into this medium, and then you spray it with a vinegar and water solution. I don't know the ratio on that, but if you only mix this in with this, you get a dark gray. So I'm like, that's why I'm thinking we can add this. Hey, Laura. So, I don't know. I'll pour a little bit in and we'll try it. So the only thing this does not stick to is plastic. You would have to sand the plastic and really like rough it up in order for this to stick to plastic. But everything else seems like it's gonna stick to it. It is non-toxic. It is AP approved, meaning children can use this. It is not toxic at all. Just don't dump it down your drain because it does harden up. It's a hardener. So it's gonna clog your drain. So you don't wanna put it down your drain. So then that was the kit. And that was, I believe, like 83 something. So you get the rust powder, this, the stuff to make the clay, the balls, and this fabric stuff. So that was like a starter kit. So then I bought this because this is the varnish that you use to mix with their colorants, which they call bisters. But I'm going to try mica powders because you can mix mica powders with varnish. So it obviously is going to have to work, right? I don't know. We're going to find out. And then it came with this funky paper inside. And I'm like, oh, I'm keeping this because this stuff works on paper and it makes it hard. It is water resistant, so you can put it outside. So it takes about 24 hours to like initially be hard. Or you can use like a blow dryer and dry it that way. But it takes up to 2 weeks to completely like get into the fibers and cure. So if you're going to put it outside or if you're going to make a sculpture, I mean, you should see some of the sculptures that are made with this stuff, guys. We're going to be making a sculpture. I've just got to get some more product because this is all I have. So I went to a local Family Dollar, which has a Dollar Tree in it, and I got this vase for $1.25. I'm like, it's $1.25, right? If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. So we're going to do something with this tonight. I also bought some thicker rope. I don't know if we'll use this tonight or not, but I bought it. And I had some twine. so we're going to probably use this. I took one of my old t-shirts. Now, the only thing that I did not know, because there's not a ton of videos, this is one of my t-shirts that, like, look at the stains in it. So I just cut it into strips. I've got some wider strips. I've got some bigger strips. This one has a pocket still in it. Then I did some skinnier strips and then another big one. So I'm like, all right, I need some other stuff. Oh, and then I took the band off the bottom because that would give us another like kind of textury thing, and some more wider strips. So then I went through my sewing stuff and I found some lace. The stuff that you can do with this, guys, it just blows my mind. So my husband is going to cut some wood, and we've been wanting to make fairy doors to attach to our tree outside. And with this stuff, I'm going to be able to do it. So stay tuned for that. And then I had some of this in my fabric stash, so I'm like, well, I'm going to pull that out. Like I said, I don't know what we're using. And then I had, you know, like this from when I was sewing. I pulled this out. We can use flowers. We can use metal. I mean, the things are endless. So I don't have a plan. I have never used this. So we're gonna dive in. I am going to wear gloves only because even though the stuff is non-toxic, it can dry your skin out. And because I am finally just getting my hands back to normal, I'm not going to chance it. So I'm gonna wear gloves on like the sticky, messy part. So it will not stick to like a silicone mat or plastic. So I'm hoping it doesn't stick to my mat because I didn't bring any plastic down. It will stick to paper. So when I make like the butterfly, instead of coating it in resin, I could coat it in this because they even have a transparent one. So you could paint it and then you could really manipulate it the way you want it, and it's going to be way harder. So we will be, as soon as I get some more product, I'm going to call the woman tomorrow to see if I can like go directly to the warehouse and place an order. Because when I ordered my stuff, it would have saved me shipping if I would have gone there to pick it up. But I was like, I don't know, you know. But yeah, now that it's here and I've looked at it some more, I think this is going to be so much fun. So I am going to take some alcohol, and I'm going to spray the outside of the glass because I did take it out to take the sticker off the bottom, and I know I have fingerprints on here. It didn't say anything about fingerprints and this stuff sticking to it, but just to be on the safe side, I'm just going to clean it to be safe. And that way I have no oil residue or anything like that. So I'm just wiping this down with some alcohol. All right, that's done. I do have a plastic container because, like I said, it does not stick to plastic. You can just scrape it out, put it back in the bottle, and whatever residue is left in here, it will, when it dries, you can just flick it out. So I even bought a plastic container. So let me grab some gloves. And we're going to mix some stuff up. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't even believe I'm doing this for the first time on a live, guys. I must be crazy. So how is everybody doing tonight? Oh, and the other thing, when you mix this stuff up, They say to shake it and then like take a dowel and like get down in there to release the sediment on the bottom. They said the darker colors have more like pigment that sits at the bottom that you gotta stir. And they say to wipe your cap when you are done pouring it because it can adhere your cap to the thingy. All right, can I get this off? Because if I don't take this off, I know at some point it is going to fall, but no, I can't. Let me, oh, that's too big of a stick. I don't know if one of my bamboo sticks will be strong enough or not. We'll try it. All right, so let me kind of tip you down here so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so it is goopy at the bottom. It's like a thick, it's like almost when we're mixing like a pigment paste that's been sitting for a while. That's kind of what it feels like on the bottom. But it's releasing really good. And you cannot let this stuff freeze. So I don't know what they do in the winter, but see how it's like really goopy? All right. And then I'm gonna, and if there is some clumps that come out in the bucket, they say it's okay just to break them up. So, and I'm just gonna wipe this stick off as we go. I'm going to try and be as neat as possible. And you guys all know what's gonna happen with that, right? Yeah, that theory is gonna go right out the window. So my other thing is I didn't know is, hello?
Thank you very much for dinner. I love you very much.
You're welcome. I love you.
Good luck.
Thank you. Is like, this is white, but if I were to cut up a black t-shirt, would it dry white or would it dry like a gray? That I don't know. So I have a gray t-shirt tonight and we're gonna try and color some of this. And my bucket is probably a little big for what I'm gonna actually need, but we're gonna go with it and hopefully it works. All right, so I'm just gonna pour some of this in this bucket. And I'm gonna wipe my top and put my cap back on. And so I'm gonna try to tip this up, and I'm gonna use this silicone spatula that I have because I think this is probably gonna mix it a little bit better. So I'm gonna scoop some of that down, and we're gonna put some of this black pigment. So I know a lot of you probably follow Claire's Crafty Corner. She is the first person that I saw using this. And I have to say I was about as excited as she was doing it, because this can open up so much, you know, more options, because you can use natural things that you find in your house or in your yard. So this is mixing really good. It's making a nice gray, but I want it to be a little darker. So I'm gonna add a little bit more. And this is just the pigment powder that I use. It's cement, it's to color cement. So it's a water-based, so I'm assuming it's going to be fine. We're about to find out. So it's not darkening it a lot, but it is making it gray. You know, and when they were adding like the rust powder in and stuff, they were adding quite a bit. So it's pretty versatile from what I can see. And like I said, there's not a ton of videos on this. There's a woman in Australia that has done a few videos. Claire's Crafty Corner, she's only done 2. The woman that has the warehouse in Sanford. And there's another one, and I don't know which language it is, but I watched the videos just to get the pictures. Okay, so we have got a gray. So I'm going to go with this just because, let me just kind of hold it up so you can see. So it's like a medium gray. You know, it's not extremely black, but it's not white either. So let me cover my powder. And like I said, I'm going to start slow because I don't know. I don't know if this is going to work, guys. So I'm just going to scrape this off, and I'm going to, and I should have brought like a container of water down, because they say, like, if you use a paintbrush, as long as you dip it in the water, because this is soap and water washable, but I forgot about that. We've been working outside all day, and yeah. All right, so let me just grab a few pieces. Let's see. I don't want the pocket one right now. So I am going to stick this in the powder. So you want your fabric to be completely saturated, because it's got to get into the fibers in order for it to harden like it's supposed to. So that's why I said this is going to be messy. And you want it to get in, but then you want to wipe off as much as possible. Like there's a little spot here that's white, so I'm just going to put, and you can use like a paintbrush and paint over it. So I'm going to probably end up having to mix up a lot more. I just didn't want to mix too much, not knowing if the that color was going to work. But we're going to have to definitely use more. All right. So I'm going to kind of wipe my hand here. And I'm going to just pour a bunch more in there. And I've already a mess. Alrighty. So maybe what I'll do is, I've got some of the gray. I'm going to do the other half in white. And we'll just, and that way we'll see if the gray is going to work too, or what the white is going to dry looking like. So I'm just balling it up in a ball. And this might give it a cool little texture too. So I just want to make sure that that fabric is all in that material. So if you don't add any pigment to it, you can put it back in your bottle. But I just was like, I want to see if it will color, and it did. And I know I'll probably use what I have here. All right, so now we've got it so it's all incorporated. Hey, Kathy. All right, so let me slide this to the side, and we are going to drape this on our piece of glass here. So the fun part with this is you can scrunch it, you can drape it, you can have all kinds of different textures going on. All right, so I want to scrunch this definitely more because I want to have like the folds in it. So I am definitely, so none of the links for this is in the description yet. I'm hoping that by the time this uploads that I will have heard back, and hopefully it'll make it easier for me to get links. But you can type in PowerTex on Amazon and it will come up. There is not a ton of stuff on Amazon, but oh, this is like so cool, guys. I was gonna grab some sticks outside because I was outside. I finished up my other 2 frogs, and I was gonna grab some sticks to try to add to this, and I completely forgot. I got sanding those down, and yeah, I just kind of forgot. So but yeah, it's wicked sticky. My hands are like, it's almost feels like you're playing with like a taffy. All right, so I want that rolled down around the top. So let me kind of wipe my fingers off here a little bit so I can cut some little strips. So I tried to cut like a bulk of the t-shirt material. I didn't cut small strips, but I knew that, you know, I could do that during the live and it wouldn't be that big of a deal. All right, so we're gonna scrub that in. But this is gonna give us a nice piece to see if that gray does stay gray. So now I have this hollow spot here. So I am going to kind of overlap, and I'm just pressing it in. And you can fold the fabric like however you want it. And it stays there because it's also a glue. All right, so. And then we can paint colors over it. So we could put flowers in here. I mean, we could put leaves, you name it. We could put different things in here. So I figured I would keep it somewhat simple tonight, just to kind of wet my fingers in it and figure it all out. But yeah, this is like so cool. And you can do sculptures and like, there's just so many things that you can do with this. All right, so let me get a little bit more laid here, and then I will bring it up to show you. I'm just adding some more like wrinkles to it. So you have about an hour work time from what I'm gathering. So you don't want to pour, you know, a ton of this out at a time. And there's really no smell. If anything, it's maybe a little vinegary as far as like the scent. So all right, I need to wipe my hands. I need some more of the medium. You know, like I said, I don't know how far this was gonna go. So, and when I got the bottle, I was like, I already knew, I'm like, I should have ordered a bigger bottle. I knew right away. This is the smallest bottle. They do have 3 different sizes, so yeah. All right, let's just get that in there. Like when Claire did it, I mean, she really like doused her pieces. But the more you put, the longer that it's going to take for it to dry as well. So let me just move this back so I can kind of reach what I'm doing here. And then we're going to add, I want to get this thin layer on, and then I want to add some different textures over top of this. So we're going to have like gray and white. It looks like the gray is holding its color, which is good. Oops. And I've already got it all over me, guys. Let me take this piece because I should be able to wrap this around the bottom. So you can leave it scrunched, you can flatten it, you know, it's all in whatever you feel like doing. And I just like the fact that it's non-toxic, you know, because, I mean, working with resin all the time, we all know that it is, you know, toxic. It's fun, but it's also nice to incorporate a little something different every now and then. So I will be trying a sculpture definitely at some point, because I've always wanted to do like a sculpture, but never really knew where to begin. So why not, right? All right, so I'm just gonna kind of get this going around the bottom here. It is very messy, though. I will tell you that. It is extremely messy. But you all know how messy I am, so you know I like messy. So this is definitely right up my alley here. So I just want to get this vase covered, and then we're going to start adding some other bits to it. All right, I'm going to cut that there. I'm going to bring that down and this over. And we will put this. I have one more little, like, kind of bald spot. So I'm going to put this kind of over that. So I definitely want to use like some wood and sticks and stuff like that, because I think that would just make a really pretty. All right, so we have our vase all kind of covered. All right, so now I definitely know I'm going to need some more medium, so let me. So next time I will bring down like a wet towel so that I have something to wipe my gloves off on. So I do want to add some rope. And maybe some of the lace. And then I'm going to try and get it dried with a hairdryer so we can try the mica powders, because they have their own colorants, but I don't see why mica powders would not work. All right, I got like a little bald spot right there. So I'm going to bring this up. And like I said, this is my first attempt. So, you know, I've like really put no thought into it. I'm just winging it as we go. That's all that I'm doing. Let's see. I'm gonna cut some of this off. All right, so we're gonna soak this in our medium. All right. I'm just gonna like squeegee the rest of it out. This covered really good. So the t-shirt that I'm using it's a fairly thick t-shirt, so I'm sure that, you know, if it was a thinner t-shirt, it would have worked much better. All right, so let's put this, we're gonna just wrap this around. And we are going to just pat that down. Now the pieces really come together once you dry them and you start adding the color to them. You know, I don't know if I maybe didn't use enough medium. I don't know. Like I said, this is my first attempt. So we're just kind of playing here to see. I'm like, well, worst case scenario, I stick some flowers in it, not a big deal, you know? It's a vase. Okay. And I can bring that down the side. I mean, we might as well use it all, right? Got this piece, and I've got that piece. So we're gonna just pat it on the back. I'm gonna tap that in. All right. So this is kind of, I added some here and some here, and then we have the big piece across the front. So I do want to try one of these flowers. So I'm just gonna scrape all this into like a puddle so that I can get this completely coated. Because then you can go in and paint your petals, whatever colors you want them. And you can shape them, you know, because it's like a glue, so you can bend them and let's see, where, you know, of course, I got to use something that sticks up. All right, let's, because this works as a glue as well. All right, so it's definitely have some oozing out, but that's okay. Maybe this wasn't the best choice of flower. No. All right, I'm just gonna set that there. And, oh, this did fall off, okay. So maybe what I should do at this point is get this dried. Because like I said, I don't know if I maybe didn't use enough. I don't know. All right. Let me, because it's definitely starting to harden. I can feel it hardening. So I'm going to take my gloves off and I'm going to get my heat gun out. And we're going to try and dry this a little bit. And we'll see if we can get it. So I'm just patting it down. If I see something sticking up that I don't like. All right, so let me tip this up for a minute. I'll check comments, see if anybody has any questions. The sound is breaking up. Oh. Yeah, I don't know who Anton is. You have faith in me? I'm glad somebody does. Yeah, because Claire from Claire's Crafty Corner, she did hers on a glass. So, but I don't know if there was anything special that she did to it. I don't think so. All right, just got to get it off the very bottom. So it is drying. So once I can get it like touch dry, then we can try like the mica powders and stuff. All right, so I'm gonna just slide this over here, and I'm gonna try and get this cleaned up to see if it comes off. It's not, okay, it is slowly coming up, okay. Ah, sticking in my finger. You know, leave it to me to pick thick material. See, this is almost dry. I think it's just the layers. I was kind of heavy-handed on my layers. But it's like anything, you have to learn the product and, you know, what works best. And once I can get it so like it's touch dry, we're gonna try some mica powders and see if we can bring some life to this heap of mess. And I really didn't, I didn't want to start with a white, but that's kind of what I got. So I'm just going to go with it. And so you can use acrylic paint too. to paint these, you know, once it's all dried. So look at my fingers. All right, so let me try to get some of this off my fingers here. Of course, I sprayed it right in one of my cuts that I got sanding my frogs today. Yeah, so it peels right off your fingers really easy. So next time I'll definitely have like a towel down here. So I'm gonna set this aside because I know I can let that dry and that will peel right out of there. I did want to put some rope, but I also just want to see what the colors are gonna do. So we need this. I need to get like a plate. I'll just use this cover. So I've got to mix some of this varnish up. And let me see. I'm going to use this Blue Orchid and then maybe some of this Jasmine. All right. Here goes nothing, guys. Okay, so, oh, and I gotta grab a brush. Let me, and I wanted something flat because when you're basically doing like a dry brushing. So I'm gonna get me a paper towel ready. And I'm gonna start, I'm just gonna put a little bit of this varnish in this little plastic thing. And then we're gonna put some of this blue mica powder. Now they have, you know, their own colorants, but I just wanna see if this is gonna work. So I'm just gonna put a little pile there. That's probably way more than I need, but, because like I said, I've only seen a few videos, nothing, you know, major. So basically, they take a little bit of the varnish, they dip it in the powder, they wipe it, and then they dry brush across. So I'm gonna just do that again. And I'm not gonna wipe it off this time, just because I want you guys to be able to see the color. because I want to do the lace in the purple. So that's kind of, I'm trying to go like around just to get another color basically in here. You know, kind of like a background color. You know, and we have that gray and that white, so like I said, this is not going to be the prettiest thing you've ever seen, but we all got to start somewhere, right? And there's just so much more. I could have let it dry and added way more layers, but just for tonight's video, I wanted to do something somewhat quick and something easy. So we're getting that little bit of a distressed look. So I'm just gonna and they do have like the colored, different colored mediums, the universal liquid that you can mix in, you know, your own colors. Like if this would have been all black, I think I could have really done something good with it, but where it's white. So I am going to try, I'm going to call tomorrow and see if I can go in and get some black. Because I just think that, you know, then we could use like our chameleon mica powders and stuff. And the reason that I wanted to see if we could use the mica powders, if it would work, is because we all do resin. So if we've already are able to like color it and we're only having to buy like the medium, it's a savings to us because we've already invested the money into the different colorants and stuff like that. I'm just trying to get as close and add some color in there. So it's basically gonna end up looking like, I would say, a distressed kind of look. You know, and with the dark, it gives you that, the shadows in the background much better too. And then I could always go over it with like a white mica or even a diamond dust over it, I think would be really pretty. And I did get a little bit on that lace piece, but that's fine because we're going to go over it with the purple anyways. But it is good to know that we can color it with the same stuff that we use for the mixed mold. Because that's what I colored that gray with. All right, so we've got our base color done. All right, so I am just going to wipe this out. And we're going to put a little bit of the purple. And I'm going to use less of the purple because a little goes a long way. All right, let me start in the front. So I'm just kind of running that over on the high spots. So yeah, once I'm like not filming it and I'm, you know, I take the time and I get all the stuff, I'm really curious to see what I can, you know, come up with. Because all this white that is behind the purple would be black if I had the black medium. So I think it would definitely show more. You know, and probably everybody else has taken like classes on this. Oh, not me. I'm just gonna jump right in, guys. So that's kind of where we've come with that. But I want to try I'm going to try adding some black to it. Just to see what it does. I'm just trying to tone down some of that bright white. You know, especially where we did some of the gray and then the white. So I'm trying to bring those two colors together. All right. And where did I put my mica powders? Right here. I want to do a different purple if I can find one. All right, let's try some of this Purple Jam, it's called. We haven't tried this color yet. Put that cover on that. And just want to get a little bit more of the purple on the lace part. Now that's almost looking more blue than the purple. So I'm gonna do that, and then I'm gonna try the try going over it with maybe some crushed crystal. Yeah, I definitely gonna get some of the black medium. I mean, the white is probably, you know, good for a few things. Like, if I hadn't fixed my angel, I could have used this and draped over her dress, and it would have made it look like it was actual fabric. But I had already added all the flowers, so I'm like, crap. Because I didn't know how quick this was going to ship. I'm just not liking the white in it. That's what I'm not liking, like, that part at all. But I do want to try some crushed crystal. I'm wondering how this stuff would work. Remember these? The abalone shells? Well, let me just see here. I'll just put a few down, and we will try that varnish and see if it works. It does, guys. I don't know how. So you definitely can see it in there. And I'm actually kind of liking that. So we're gonna just put a little bit more. And I've still got some medium here. It almost looks like you're putting little pieces of mirror in. You know, I'm not going to do it everywhere, but I did want like it to make a statement on the front. Let me get a little bit more of the varnish. And what I like about this varnish is it's fairly thick. So it doesn't like just clump out. All right, let me just get these last little bits and kind of put them in. So they actually show up fairly good. I'm just not liking the color of the background, but I can go over it and paint it again. All right, so let's try the crushed crystal. So I'm just gonna dip it, and we're gonna dip it in, and oh yeah, that's working, guys. Let me see if I can get it to show. I'm not getting it to show up. Hang on. All right, so let me see. So the abalone shells are showing, but the crushed crystal is really not showing up. I mean, I like the concept of it, but I just don't like the color. That's what I don't like, is that it has no dimension because it's white behind my pieces. And I am just not digging that. But I suppose I could like let this dry overnight, maybe spray paint the whole thing in black and then go back over brushing the colors on. You know, that maybe is an option too. It's going to take me a little while to figure it all out, guys, but I just wanted to show you that I think this is going to be something really cool that we can definitely add things to. Have any of you guys tried this? I am definitely liking the abalone shells. So yeah. You know, we could, you know, maybe this would have been a better option, putting this on, because it would have been darker. But, you know, it's all a learning process. Let's, and I don't know if even adding this would help this piece. It just looks like a disaster, but it might, you know, so you could add some more different layers or whatever to it, but oh. So I think I'm just going to leave this for now. I'm gonna let these dry. I might think I'm gonna add some more of the abalone shells. I really like those on there. So I think I'm just gonna put them like in these little spots. So I find with these, if you put the varnish on it and then you pick up your abalone glitter, that it sticks better. I just kind of happen to find that out. So yeah, I want to thank you guys for hanging with me. I know this is something different that I've never done before, but I just wanted to share it with you guys. You know, we can't do the same things all the time, right? At least I can't. I get bored. I'm like, I gotta change things up every now and then. I kind of like that. It just adds that little tiny bit of something. So what I'm going to probably do tomorrow is I'm going to paint this blue. I'm going to paint this black. And then I will dry brush over it with a color, because I'm just not liking the white. I think if you were doing like a sculpture or whatever, I think it would be fine. But I'm just not really digging the having no like depth in it. That's I'm just trying to get some areas maybe a little darker blue See if that helps. Because like I said, I can just paint it black. But I'm going to see here. Kind of deepen it a little bit. I'm just not liking the white at all. You know, maybe a different project, the white would have been fine, but not for the look I was trying to get. It's looking a little bit better with that darker blue, but it's just still not, it is still not my jam. But I wanted to play. All right, I guess I'm gonna leave it like this for now. We'll just let this completely dry overnight and I'll see where it's at in the morning. So let me put it up here and see if there's any questions. You guys have any questions? Oh, Jenny, sorry. Yeah, so I'm going to try tomorrow, Jenny, to go get some black because I'm just not liking the white background in it. And the t-shirt I used was fairly thick, but it's so fun. It is so fun. So it's dried, and I used my abalone shell crystals, and that worked. I used, this is just mica powder with the varnish. So yeah, let me just take the tape out of the inside. So I just taped the inside of the jar so that I didn't get it all goopy. So the inside of the jar stayed really good. But it's already like, it's dry to the touch, but you can still feel like, you know, there's a little movement underneath, but overall, not too bad. I mean, I think if you stuck some flowers in here, it would be okay. But like I said, I think I'm going to try painting this black tomorrow. Maybe I'll just spray paint the whole thing and then I will airbrush, like dry brush over it. So, if I do that, I will show it at the end of one of my next videos, guys. And I did make a mess on the bottom, so I am definitely gonna put some fabric or something and cover that up. But for now, we'll just end it here. And yeah, I'm pretty impressed so far. I have so many ideas that I want to do, but I gotta master it first. I should have used something thinner for sure, but yeah. So I didn't think you were live. Oh no, Donna, I'm sorry. So we tried something new. This is the PowerTex, the universal medium. So I tried a couple different things. I tried coloring it with my cement powder, which worked. So the first piece I put on was gray, which is this piece here. And then the rest of it I did in the white. And for the look I was going for, I'm not liking the white for it, but, and we just wrapped old t-shirt pieces around it, and then I put some lace. I did try adding a flower, but for this particular instance, this didn't work. But I'm not going to throw this out. I'm going to save it because I can definitely use it on another project for sure. So I'm just going to let it continue to dry, and then we'll use it in another project. So, and I had my apron on, and I didn't get anything on me, guys. But if I didn't have that on, you know, then I would have gotten some on me. You know, so this might have been pretty too, adding this like over it, but I didn't want to add too much for the first time because I didn't know, you know, how this was going to stick or whatever. So it's just a piece of lace and t-shirt. And then I added some sparkles. So yeah, if you watch the replay, you'll see how I did it. I'm just going to let this dry overnight, and I will play with it again in the morning, guys. Alrighty, I have kept you guys long enough. So let me know what you think. Is this something you'd like me to explore more on some videos, trying some different techniques? Because I'm definitely going to be doing more with it. But if I don't get enough of a, like a response, then I will, you know, probably just not videotape it when I'm using it. So I'm going to kind of leave it up to you. I might do a couple of videos, but, you know, once I can figure out what I'm doing and get some other colors and some thinner materials, you know, maybe try a flatter surface because I want to play with some wood. I think this would be really cool with the wood. So yeah. Alrighty, guys, I'm going to end this here, and I'm going to go get some hot soapy water and wash this so that I can use my mat for my next project for you guys. And I will see you guys all on the next one. Bye, guys. Thanks for hanging with me.